Spotify with code The Brand The Lifestyle.
Electromagnetic. I am that I am that I am that I am that I am.
What we working with? Power. Yo.
Darkness around me, channeling that darkness inside. Focus, that's the things that I will see. All real niggas divine is the mind, yeah. All real niggas divine is the mind, and we manifesting darkness around me, channeling that darkness inside. Focus, that's the things that I will see. All real niggas divine is the mind, yeah. All real niggas divine is the mind. I'ma focus on that darkness around me, bringing all that darkness inside. All real niggas divine is the mind. Chaos in the flesh, God in every breath. Yo. And I'm manifesting, channeling that darkness around me, focusing that darkness inside. Divine, that's the things that I will see. All real niggas divine is the mind, yeah. All real niggas divine is the mind, tell them. Channeling that darkness around me. We all live and express 9 dimensions of consciousness throughout our lives, yet most of us seem to be aware of the existence of only the second, third, and fourth dimensions. The second dimension is below Earth's surface, the third is our solid world, and the fourth is the realm of our collective mind. The first dimension, located in the center of Earth, is the source of grounding ourselves, and the higher 5 dimensions are where the transcendent parts of our essence exist. These 5 higher levels have been mostly screened out of the fast-moving, technological world we live in, yet without reaching these levels, we cannot find the divine and no bliss. In 1995, with the publication of the Pleiadian Agenda, the Pleiadians came into our world with these 9-dimensional teachings, insisting that this model helps integrate human consciousness as we approach the end of the Mayan calendar on December 21st, 2012. Now the Pleiadians have returned to show us how the rich language of our times science opens us to multidimensional levels of awareness that were once common to all people thousands of years ago. To honor these Pleiadian gifts, each chapter first summarizes their understanding of how each dimension influences Earth. The rest of the chapter is an explanation of the science or sciences that seem to be operating in each dimension. Exploring the sciences of each dimension deepens, even sometimes clarifies and substantiates the Pleiadians' assertions about the levels of creative expression available to us. They say we are missing a great deal of the frequency ranges in our world. By necessity, discussions about quantum and superstring theory are very complex, yet this book has been written to make modern science more accessible to the average reader. Perhaps scientists will find that this multidimensional approach to science is of interest as well. ONE, the first dimension, the iron core, crystal in the center of Earth. Opening meditation. Find your breath. Take your time reading these words. Consider the ink making the letters on the paper you are touching. Consider the paper. How does it feel? Find your breath and find your feet. Move your head from side to side and very gently up and down. Let your head drop gently, softly toward your chest. Go only as far as it will let you. Breathe into the little stretches you are making. Notice how your breath helps lubricate the stretches. Raise your head back up and take another breath, a long one this time, 5 full seconds in and 5 full seconds out. Now slowly raise your shoulders up on both sides toward your ears. Take a deep breath as you do this and hold it just as you hold your shoulders up as high as they can go. And then poof, let out the air and let your shoulders drop. Shake your head a bit to loosen your neck even more and try another breath with shoulders up to your ears, and then again let those shoulders drop like lead weights. Don't be afraid to experiment. Sometimes we're really tight in the neck and shoulders, and this takes a number of times to work. Notice where your attention is. You are focusing just on one thing right now, using your breath to help you relax your neck and shoulders. Now feel gravity. Feel the weight of your body in the chair you are sitting on or the bed or couch you are lying on. Let yourself feel the weight. Let yourself feel very heavy. Go ahead. This is called relaxing with gravity. Feel gravity like a blanket with little magnetic waits in it, a blanket that has just the perfect amount of attraction to hold you to Earth. Enjoy your blanket. This is your very own gravity blanket. Now find your feet. Where are they? If they are on the floor, begin to feel the floor through all parts of your feet, the edges, the toes, your heels. Take a grip on the floor with your toes just to feel more connection. If you are lying down as you read this, put your attention on the air touching your feet and see if this helps you find them. Now find your breath and find your feet at the same time. Breath, feet. Can you feel the top of your head as you inhale? Can you feel as if there is a tiny air hole on the top of your head? Go ahead, experiment. Maybe the air comes in through the bones of your head, not just through one hole. Just be aware of what's above you as you become more aware of your feet and your breath. Crown, breath, feet, breath, crown. Good. Now picture a column of white light, of laser beam light, coming from the top of your head to your feet. Go ahead, take whatever time it takes. Read these words, then close your eyes and picture that column of white light running through your body from your crown to your feet. Make it bigger, more tangible with each breath you take. This is your column of white light, so enjoy it. Get to know it. Take your time, all the time in the world. Now, as you begin to feel and see this column of white light, begin to let this column descend beneath your feet into the floor and space beneath your feet. Go ahead, keep letting it go deeper and deeper. See it entering earth beneath you, beneath your feet and where you are sitting or lying down. This is your column of light. Focus on it. See where it takes you. Begin to picture a crystal, a large crystal the size of a city at the center of earth. See your light begin to penetrate that crystal. See your column of white light descending beneath you as it begins to shine into this gigantic crystal. Notice what is happening. Take your time. You are very solid now, and you are in the crystal. You are the crystal. See the white light all around. You now bouncing and reflecting off the sides of this gigantic crystal at the center of Earth. You have come home. This is your center. See if you find anything special just for you in this center. Take your time. Breathe gently as you do this. Notice the column of light above you, running through your head and back to the surface of Earth. This is your lifeline, your way to the world above. Notice how easily you can move from one place to another. Core, surface, core, surface. Notice how easily you can move with just your breath. Core, surface, core, surface. You are anchored, yet you can move back and forth, back and forth. Now, as you read these words, pay more attention to your breath once again. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Find your shoulders. How do they feel? Can you find their outer edges, their outer points, where your arms meet them? Good. Now continue to breathe. 5 in, 5 out, and move your neck and head from side to side, up and down gently. How are you feeling? Are you a bit heavy? Good. You slowed down to earth pulses, to the pulses of the iron core crystal. Take your time. Re-entering your space, drink a glass of pure water. Remember your journey. Write down what you found. Go take a walk. Slowly feel your feet on the ground. Take your time. You have the whole rest of your life to live. According to the Pleiadians, whom I refer to frequently as the PS, the first of Earth's 9 dimensions of consciousness is the iron core crystal in the center of our planet. Satya, the Pleiadian goddess who is the main voice, says that the first dimension is the only truly solid dimension in this vertical axis. The second dimension, the realm between Earth's core and the surface, seems solid because of its powerful magnetism and gravity. We have been getting much information from science lately about the mysterious realm under Earth's surface. In 1994, an earthquake of 8+ magnitude rumbled 395 miles beneath Bolivia. This quake was a boon to seismologists who had installed seismic sensors on opposite sides of the planet to measure faint vibrations going all the way through its center. The chemical structures of rocks, magma, and crystals can be analyzed by studying the seismic waves passing through them. This is called seismic tomography. Since the quake was so deep, these scientists detected and measured the waves generated by the quake that traveled through the center of Earth and out to the opposite side. Excitedly, they analyzed the waves and were amazed by their findings. The center of Earth is a huge into itself on the vertical axis originating in the center of Earth. The PS say two more things about the vertical axis of Earth. First, all 9 dimensions are totally accessible to humans in 3D, even though there are many other dimensions. For example, the vertical axis, which connects all 9 dimensions, is the 10th dimension, and the PS speak about 26 dimensions in all. We humans do not yet have the mental apparatus to apprehend the universe, although we can feel it as our container. Second, the keepers of each dimension are unique to each system, such as Earth. There are different keepers for the dimensions in other worlds, such as Jupiter, Mars, or Regulus. Other locations generate a dimensional form from their centers, and they have chosen keepers for their dimensions. If you've always felt really connected with another place, such as Arcturus or Aldebaran, these stars may be keepers of other realms that you resonate with. If you feel a great connection with one of the keepers of Earth, such as Sirius, the Pleiades, Orion, or the Galactic Center, then you may be residing in some form in that other realm while you live here. I freely admit that I feel some part of me exists in the Pleiades while I also live here on Earth. This other life enhances my earthly data bank, just as travel to another country educates me and makes me feel free to come and go in my mind. As we prepare to enter 1D, let us begin with the realization that all of us share something very special. We incarnated here on Earth to experience life, activated by the iron core crystal known by many as Gaia. What gives Gaia life? Spin creates movement, which causes particles to become waves. Then matter is created, and eventually we have life within the cells of our bodies. Yet where does spin come from? Actually, this is all simple from a cosmic perspective. The PS say that the iron molecules in the core crystal pulse because the planet is spinning in orbit while vibrating to all the planets, moons, and asteroids in our solar system, as well as to the sun itself. All these bodies vibrate by the forward motion of the galaxy as well as its spin, and the galaxy vibrates too. Quasars, supernovas, stars, and galaxies. The galaxy swishes through space like a plasma wave, or perhaps like a jellyfish or a beating heart. Plasma is slightly less material than gases, liquids, and solids, and plasma holds together by gravity. The orbiting stars vibrate and pulse by orbital spin and forward motion as the galaxy churns around with its spiral arms that fan out from its hungry black hole. The galactic center is the 1D center of the Milky Way, just as the iron core crystal is the 1D center of Earth. Everything vibrates, which determines the qualities of matter, light, and consciousness. The core is the origination point of Earth's materialization and its transmutation to light in the galactic center. We humans are wired in our brains and nervous systems to vibrate with the whole frequency range of the vertical axis, the center of Earth according to science. According to science, Earth's core resonates at 40 Hz, or 40 pulses, or vibrations per second, which sends electromagnetic waves into 2D, 3D, and beyond. Earth's crust vibrates at 7.5 Hz. 3 by comparison, if we examine the electromagnetic spectrum chart, you can see that we exist as seemingly solid in the frequency range of the visible light spectrum, where solid things manifest at about 10 15 Hz in 3D. In fact, relative to the size of atoms, the distance between one atom and another in your body is equivalent to the distance of a few miles. We are empty inside and made of vibrating waves. Frequencies beyond 3D, such as X-rays and gamma rays, vibrate much faster, and the frequency ranges of higher dimensions eventually become invisible. The incredible truth is that we vibrate with the pulse of Earth, which aligns us with all other beings, including light, in the ladder or chain of existence. This is the vertical axis of consciousness. Also, according to Satya, because we have iron in our blood, we are wired to vibrate with Gaia in our blood. The blood coursing in our veins pulses with the iron core crystal because it has crystalline iron components. This is what makes it possible to be in our bodies and vibrate in other ranges simultaneously. Since the iron core crystal is gravity and we organize by much weaker gravity in 3D, then it is possible to imagine why science describes great distances between each molecule in our bodies. We are empty inside and something holds all that space. Together, the higher dimensions held together by weaker and weaker gravity are diaphanous. If we ask what started the primal spin, we are asking why we exist in the first place. More important than how it all started, what holds us together. Our blue or physical integrity comes from gravity, the force that emanates from the first dimension. We experience gravity as binding, as allurement, as a formation force, but what adds mystery is the fact that the cells in our bodies are also 1D chains of manifestation. Our cells are intelligent because they vibrate too. Stars in the universe. As far as how this got started, the PS yawn. They are much more interested in having humans learn to feel the pulses in their blood, which resonate with the center of Earth. If you contemplate the spinning orbits of stars emitting light waves that eventually become sound that creates geometry that directs materialization, you will not care how or when it started or ends. You have existence now and everything else is a distraction. Ask a cellist where the notes come from and their cellist will simply keep on playing. The core crystal connects you to everything. In the universe, its agenda is gravity, and it pulses in your blood. Many scientists go on and on about how they cannot explain gravity, which is to say they cannot define it as a felt experience. They know that Earth's center is a huge iron crystal, and that iron is more dense than most other metals. They know that things become weightless, gravity lessens, when one rises above the crust of Earth and into space. The PS say that the way scientists talk about gravity is a great example of how their heads are in the laboratory and not in the world. In September 2002, scientists finally measured the speed of gravity, which does travel at the speed of light, as Einstein theorized. The speed of gravity was the last unmeasured constant in physics. 4 physicists have developed a new observing instrument, the Laser Interferometry Gravitational Observatory, to detect gravitational waves in space, which means many surprises about gravity are soon to come. To summarize and clarify the Pleiadian point of view regarding gravity, the 1D core is gravity, and as it moves to the surface and above, it weakens. All 1D centers in the universe are gravity. The 2D outer core is molten, and deep 2D currents flow on the Earth's surface. As the gravity waves emerge from 2D, they respond to electricity in the atmosphere and create the surface electromagnetic fields. Gravity holds all the dimensions together on the vertical axis, rising into the black hole in the center of the Milky Way. Gravity is less dense as the dimensions ascend because the dimensions move out from the vertical axis in great circular planes, which makes it difficult to measure on the vertical axis. Gravity is the central intelligence or center that gives form to the planar matrices of all 9 dimensions. The weaker gravity is, the more complex the dimensionality. In the higher dimensions or hyperspace, gravity travels much faster than the speed of light as measured at 186,000 miles per second. 5. The actual measurement of gravity waves in space will probably confirm this model. In the near future, the science of the first dimension, all the dimensions of Earth's chain of being are sourced in 1D, Gaia. Of course, Western science does not conceive of this vertical axis structure from the center of Earth to the galactic center. However, the qualities of the iron core crystal that were discovered by tomographic analysis after the 1994 Bolivian earthquake suggest exactly this possibility. For example, the texture of the huge crystal probably explains many of the mysteries of the Earth's magnetic field. Seismic waves traveling through the center go faster from north to south than when they travel east to west, that is, they transmit at different speeds in different directions. These varying directional velocities are called anisotropies, and measuring them yields fascinating clues about the composition of the great unseen crystal, since the pressures in the center are 3 million times greater than on the surface, and the iron is solid in spite of the temperature being in excess of 7,000 OF. Only the final crystalline form of iron hexagonal is possible as the structure of this gigantic crystal. One scientist suggested the core is like a huge diamond in the center of Earth. 6. Most important, the hexagonal prism form fits the recent seismic evidence. The inner core may have its own magnetic field, which probably has a different direction from the outer core. This would explain periodic magnetic reversals as well as the skewing of magnetic field lines, which show a persistent 4-degree tilt. Geometry is the key to dimensionality, as you will see. And 2. My mind, the vertical axis propels out of this huge hexagonal form of the core and emerges through the surface. 7. In that sense, there must be trillions of vertical axes shooting out of the hexagonal crystals in the hot center. Each emergence must have a unique pattern on the surface. The spin power of the 4-degree tilt of the whole Earth's magnetic field is the kind of energy that could generate multidimensional planes all the way into the galactic center. In light of what I just described, it is easier to see how Earth may truly be unique in the universe or the Milky Way. Furthermore, the PSA that the galactic center pulses in resonance with Earth. Recently, scientists have discovered that the black hole in the center of the Milky Way emits X-rays, approximately equal to the energy that streams from our sun. This suggests vibrational connections between our solar system and the galactic center. Letting science go for a moment, I'd like to share what we have learned about the core crystal by traveling down into it during hundreds of activations. Figure 1.3 evidence for a crystal at the center of Earth. Recordings from earthquakes show that seismic waves take about 4 seconds longer to go through Earth from east to west than they do to travel from north to south. The waves must pass through an object that transmits them with different speeds in different directions. A crystal would have this property. Adapted from the core of the Earth may be a gigantic crystal made of iron. William J. Broad, New York Times, April 4, 1995, C1. Entering the iron core crystal. From the very first activation, which I led in America's Stonehenge at Salem, New Hampshire on the fall equinox in 1995, the crystal informed us that it has very specific laws, like any center in the universe, including the DNA. In our bodies, the core can only be entered by offering the right prayers. For humans, Earth's center is the ultimate sacred realm, since it is the source of all the life forms that have ever existed in 2D or on the surface. Both Earth's surface and the areas deep below our ecosystems that can potentiate life forms, and 3D includes the atmosphere, which supports life. During an activation, participants are located in 3D by the medicine laws, the indigenous way of understanding the natural laws of Earth, which are the only way anyone can enter Gaia. To enter the core, participants are taught to orient themselves to the 4 directions: east, west, south, and north. The entrance down into Gaia exists in the center of the 4-directional altar, which is the place where the vertical axis emerges in a specific location. Once participants are aligned to the directions in this sacred landscape, I offer prayers, and then I go into a meditative state and bring the PS into our circle. We've discovered that the core crystal is always emitting images, symbols, colors, forms, beings, or coded sounds at specific places on Earth. The PS translate these keys through me, and then I translate them for the group. Some students can see Earth's frequencies themselves. Sometimes they see similar images, colors, and so on, and sometimes different ones. These visions are always unique to the place and time, and I see as many as I can for the group and attempt to translate them. These images somehow help participants shift the frequencies in their own bodies, which admits them to Earth's core. The PS orchestrate frequencies by color and sound that harmonize everyone, making it possible to enter the core. Figure 1.4 images emitted from Earth's core. Once our energy bodies are prepared, the PS lead us out of our hearts and heads down through our spines and then down below our sacred circle into Earth. As the PS shift the energy frequencies in our bodies, we travel together as a complex energy dynamic down through 2D into the core. Eventually, we pass easily down into Earth's center to explore our primordial source. In each of the activations, I receive a unique set of symbols unlike any other. I think the energetic frequencies of a specific place and time, as well as Earth's core, have constantly changing unique vibratory patterns. I find it fascinating that when we are the most alert mentally, our our brainwaves are in the beta range, 40 Hz, which is the same as the frequency of Earth's core. Since the inner and outer cores are the source of surface electromagnetism, often the journey through the outer core and into the inner core is intense. For real, few students experiencing the density can be very challenging. For other students, the experience can be so sacred that it is almost overwhelming. This is why we always have healers available. Yet, if we are to experience all 9 dimensions, we must first resonate with the qualities of the 1D and 2D frequencies. We have conducted many activations at sacred sites and power points where clear access to Earth's center was marked by our ancestors. We will continue to do this ceremony until December 21st, 2012, as will many of our students with their own groups. It is our hope that this work will help all humans. Remember that we are the keepers of Gaia. Jerry and I have learned much about the iron core crystal by traveling in it with people, and many students discover grounding for the first time in their lives by experiencing the core. When the PS look at humans, they see 7 light centers as our chakra system, 5 are on the body, and 1 is above and 1 below. To them, the first chakra of the human chakra system is the Earth chakra, which resonates with the iron core crystal and the telluric realm. This chakra grounds us while we are alive. We humans, on the other hand, experience chakras as part of the subtle energetic systems in our body that acupuncturists use for healing, and we experience 6 major chakras located in our body and 1 above our head at our crown. One difference between the Pleiadian and human systems is over the first and second chakras. To the PS, the first chakra is off body, and for humans, we experience that first chakra as our root or coccygeal chakra. That is why we have labeled the first chakra in the body as our sexual center, which is a combination of the root chakra and sexual chakra. Interestingly, the PSA as our root chakra resonates with the 1D iron core crystal. Our sexual chakra resonates with the 2D telluric realm. Likewise, our crown chakras resonate with the 8D divine realm. 9. The important thing to notice as you consider this illustration of the Pleiadian human chakra system is that our chakras operate between Earth and the galactic center. Figure 1.5. The Pleiadian human chakra system. Many students are overwhelmed when they see the molecular matrix of the crystalline facets of the core, and some see in it the species and ecosystems that inhabit the higher dimensions as well as the lower ones. Like films in a gigantic film library, all records and memories vibrate in the dense, organic iron crystal. Sometimes it feels like one drop of rain on a crystal facet could spawn a pristine new Amazon jungle. We've seen Precambrian flora and fauna, and even dinosaurs at the center, and many have seen magical creatures such as unicorns or gnomes. As in the higher dimensions, there is no time, background noise, or space limitations, and some actually feel in a visceral way the space between the cells in their bodies. We've relaxed in great mountain valleys and primeval forests, and we often hear the words Garden of Eden. Many of us have felt Earth's true pulse so many times that now we can feel it easily in our own bodies. We have experienced sounds that can be heard at sacred sites, such as stalactites being struck in the Mayan caves at Laotan in the Yucatan. Michael Stearns recorded these resonating stalactites, which the Maya used to connect people to Earth's heart. The sounds of Earth are audible in the music we play for each activation. There is no doubt our distant ancestors were in tune with Earth's core, and attuning with it is probably the key to megalithic science. People living 6,000 years ago moved stones around that weighed hundreds of tons, which suggests they may have mastered a science of manipulating frequencies in objects to change their weight. Reducing the weight of stones by sonics is probably possible, since frequency shifts can cause lower density in objects. The megalithic scientists may have discovered powerful natural laws that are ruled by the iron core crystal and are only now being rediscovered, and they probably knew a lot more about how to work with gravity than we do today. What we have experienced personally in the activations is that the more we resonate with the heart of Earth, the more we open up vast spaces within ourselves. Once we feel less dense, we resonate more easily with the highest dimensions, which makes it possible to detect them. The more we experience traveling through all the dimensions and going into the galactic center, the more we feel how the galactic center pulses with Earth. Students who have experienced many activations are developing themselves on new intelligence pathways, which begin right in the iron core crystal, since the core contains the memory records of all species and systems, and since these records are encoded in hexagonal iron crystals, attuning ourselves to the 40 Hz frequency range helps us to access these records. The PS say that all the species stored in the core can rejuvenate on the surface or in the 2D worlds below if viable ecosystems make a home for them. After great catastrophes on Earth, there is always a biological rejuvenation of species that adapt to new habitats. We seem to be destroying the mental, emotional, and physical habitats of the human realm as we come to the end of the Mayan calendar, yet all the data for life on the surface is stored in the iron core crystal. Also, information in other dimensions can generate new creative options. For example, a gamma ray explosion from a magnet, a collapsed star, may have done this in 1998. Unique pathways to higher consciousness are now appearing, such as the crop circles during the last 20 years. The most potent pathway for us now seems to be a return to the Paleolithic mind, which was global, eco-sensitive, and multidimensional. I believe this because the younger generation represented by my children know this. Specifically, the Paleolithic mind still lives in the core, which holds all possibilities for humans. As the 3D world devolves into chaos, during this period, Earth's more gentle, slow, and silent intelligence is regenerating, using the 7 sacred directions to enter Gaia. The key to accessing this is to work from a chosen center of the 4 directions, to add above and below so as to activate the vertical axis, and then to move your consciousness into your heart center, the 7th sacred direction. This can be done during activations or in your own choice of sacred space and time. As you will see when we move into 2D and 3D, the core pulses out, resonating waves that actually create the dimensions of the vertical axis. These core pulses are the source of energy pathways and systems in the crust and surface. The 2D vital energy pathways, ley lines, vortexes, and water pathways carry the intelligence of the core and direct 3D ecosystems and habitation patterns. Leaving the core to return up through 2D, we image Earth as a sphere, with the core in the center, and we visualize waves of energy moving out from the sphere through 2D and emerging as patterns in the crust. These patterns are also responding to light waves from the sky. As we live on the surface, we are constant expressions of these waves. How we materialize as our bodies, how waves become organic, is explored in the next chapter as this occurs in the 2nd dimension. Thanks again for watching. Remember to drop us a like to boost the popularity of videos like these in the new algorithm. Thanks. Look out for our next upload today.
To the Mercedes experience. Hell, I don't even know if I can handle both of y'all.
I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. Don't worry, he can't hear us over the blender. He swears by his all-natural sex potion, but it's just Irish moss and Viagra. The coach sees us when you hear.
To the Mercedes experience.